So hello and welcome back everyone. My name is Harshit Kali and today I'm here to teach you Python again. So let's start with the video topic. So okay. In the last lecture we learned how to store information using variables. We learned about the variables, their rules, and how they can be helpful in the Python codes and their performance. So I want to ask you a question. If Python like knows whether to store, if you create a variable, any variable like x, a, b, c, d, any variable, does Python know that whether it is a number, decimal number, value, or name, or whatever? So today, that's what we are learning exactly. It is data type. So data type, there are different types of data type like integer, float, and char, varchar, date and time also, text also. So here you can see there is an age data type. Age is a variable and 19 is a number, and its data type will be integer. Then its name. Name is a variable. Harshit is a character. Our data types tells Python what kind of value a variable stores and what operation can be performed on it. So let's move on to the next question. So here I have created a variable age. Let's create a variable age. Let's just take as 78. Now look at another example right here. I'll create a variable name Harshit. So this time I have created another variable name Harshit and store the value. Uh, Store the value Harshit. I have created a variable name. Now here's a question for you. How does Python know that 19 is a number but Harshit is a text? Think about it. Both the values are stored in a variable but Python behaves differently with them. Why? The answer is data type. A data type tells Python what kind of value is stored inside a variable. Once Python knows the type of data, it knows what operations are allowed on that data. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose I have a number. Can I add a number to it? Here is a number 78. Can I add a number to it? That is a is equals to age is equals to age plus 78. Enter. Print age bigger age. Alright, let's run it. We don't want it. We just take this. What the? Here you can see I have added 7 to the age of 78. So that gives us 85. But can you add a number to any letters? The answer is you cannot, because here you can see the error we are getting, that is type error, because it can only concatenate str to str, that is string to string, not with an integer. Let's just move on to the next topic. So data type are the primitive types are integer, floating, character and boolean, and derived types are arrays, pointers, structure and array classes. So what we are going to study first are integer data type, floating point, character values and boolean values. So integer are numbers basically, floating are decimal numbers, character is like alphabets, and boolean is true or false values that we generally use in the statements known as conditional statements. So you can see it here, like integers, whole numbers without decimals, character, single letter symbols or ASCII codes, floating point, single precision fractional numbers, double precision. This is just useless, this is not required. And here come the boolean. It covers the one byte and it only contains true or false value for the conditional logic and flags. Type modifiers. These are just like range functions mainly. You don't need to like use this. It might be used in the course but on later on. So memory mechanics and variable declaration. Data type variable name is equals to the initial value. Code implementation. Oh, still. But what we discussed earlier was part of the Python. That's why I told you that double precision is not in this, and ASCII values are not in this, but it is like a bit important because you should know what ASCII values are. The concept of mutability. Let's understand this. Understanding mutability is crucial for the memory management and avoiding bugs in Python. Immutable types. When you modify an immutable object like a string or integer, Python does not change the original value in the memory. Instead, it creates a brand new object as a new memory address. So, what is it is trying to say that it is trying to say like if you want to modify an immutable object, it cannot be changed because Python do not change the original value in the memory. You cannot change the value in if it is stored in an original memory, because if you want to change it, you have to create a brand new object like brand new variables, and you have to use that in the code. Otherwise, because immutable types are generally the types you cannot change, that is why it is called as immutable, that is not changeable. Immutable types are just like you like list in Python, and I guess dictionary is also the type. I do not guess, it is the type. So when you try to modify a mutable type like list or dictionary, Python changes the object directly in the current memory process or memory address. So let's just move on to the dynamic typing and the memory as inspection. You can directly check object data type by using the type function and finding its unique memory address tracking ID using ID. Wait a second first. I want to see it. So let's just resume 12 minutes and maybe 35 minutes for the first one. Student ID, student name is Kabir, print type, student ID, print type, student name. X is equals to 5, print ID of X is this. I'll explain you this code. Let's run this first. Alright. So what it is? Student ID here is a variable, and Kabir, sorry, and the value of student ID is 1008. That is integer value that has been assigned to the variable student ID. Next is student name, and the value assigned for the student name is a string value which is Kabir. And then we have used type function here, so we can identify the type of this student ID. Here you can clearly see that it is a number. So earlier I explained that when a number is given as your data type, it the data type you have been assigned is integer. Like you can see here, when I run this code, it gives the class integer. And same goes for the student name, that covers a character value, so it gives the data type string, that is str. And immutability memory IDs, print ID x. Example, what the hell is even that? I don't even know. Leave this. ID is not really necessary to print because the memory allocation is not provided in the syllabus. Typecasting, we can do typecasting. Implicit type conversions. Python supports both automatic and manual conversion between data types. Implicit type conversion: Python automatically converts a narrow data type to wider data type to avoid data loss. Integer sum, you can see here is an integer data type, and float num, that is a decimal data type, that is float data type. So when Python automatically converts integer sum to a float before addition, alright, it is saying that Python, when you do the addition or any like operator, use any operator that like are in the Python language, it automatically converts integer number to float before the addition. So when you print the result, the output will be 10 plus 5.5, that is 15.5, and the type result of it will be float because it has already changed and converted the integer num value and float num value to the result that is provided. So the sum of an integer and a float integer will be a float integer. So the type of the result will be float. So, hello everyone, my name is Harshit and we'll be moving further on to the next topic. So, next topic is uh, data types and type conversion and operators. So, previously we did a bit about variables and input output statements, a little bit of the what we did in the previous video. Wait a second. Identify input output statements and comments. So let's move on to the next topic. So uh, we are here. Data type. A data types is what that tells Python what kind of value is stored in a variable. So age is equals to 19. It is an integer value. Height, which is equals to 6.1, which is a float value, that is 6 foot 1. Name, that is equals to Harshit, that is a string value, and is underscore student is equals to true, that is a boolean value, and z is equals to 2 plus 3j, that's a complex number value. That's a j cap actually, or j if you say so. So show the function type. To show the function type, we have to use type function in the print statement. So print type age. When you do this, then the type, like the value that is stored in age variable, will be auto determined, that is an integer value, and the type will be displayed as integer. Same goes for the rest. For print type height, it will denote float. For print type name, it will denote as a string, and for print type is student, it will denote as complex number. Is student, where is student? Is student. Hmm. What type is student? There isn't a type. Is what it is. That's a boolean value. A student is equals to true. That's a boolean value, so it will display boolean, and that will be displayed as class complex. Next is mutable versus immutable. Immutable int, float, string, and tuple. Immutable values are immutable data types are integer, float, string, and tuple. And mutable are list, dictionary, and set. Immutable means that cannot be changed. We cannot further change their values, that are integer, float, string, and tuple. And mutable are list, dictionary, and set. List can be changed, dictionary can also be changed, and set can also be changed. You have to study these later. Type conversion, implicit conversion. A is equals to 5, B is equals to 2.5, print A plus B. So A is an integer function, B is an float function. So when we perform the assignment operator of addition, so it will give the answer in a float. It will give the answer of a float value, that will be 4.5. No, actually 7.5. The explicit conversion of int 25 float 25 str 25 bool 1 and bool 0. Int hello produces an error because hello is a word, it is a character value, and integer can never collide with a character value, so it produces an error. Operators. Arithmetic operator will be one sorry addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, percentage, exponential, and flow division. And comparison will be double equals to, not equal to, less than, greater less than, greater than, less than equals to, greater than equals to. Assignment operator will be equals to, less equals to, minus equals to, multiple equals to. Logical operator are and, or, and not. Membership operators in and not in. Example P in Python. Membership, like we have to use in to print a statement, and this is generally used to, like, uh, determine a word in any words, determine an alphabet in any word, like it is P in Python. Then identity operator are is and is not. Explain the difference between double equals to and is. So double equals to will directly assign you the value, and is just like, you are giving a value similar, what we say, syntax to any variable, like Python. Wait a second, like, let's just search it. This is an equality operator, like I just said, that if a is equals to b, then print a double equals to b, that will be true. And in the is operator, a is b, that is equals to false, because it checks both variable have same object memory. Imagine two notebooks. Notebook A has Python notes and notebook B has Python notes. The content is identical, so A is equals to B. But if there are two separate notebooks, so A is B, that's false. If you give your friend your exact notebook, then both of you are referring to the same notebook. But if there are two same notebooks of, uh, like having the same cover but having the different information inside that, we cannot say like A, when we use A is B, then it will be false because the information inside them is different. So use double equals to when you are comparing the values, and use is when you are mainly checking the simple special singleton values like none. If name is none, then print no name is provided. If name is Harshit, if name, then like you have to write name is Harshit, or like name is Gaurav, and if name is Gaurav, then print the name is given as Gaurav. It will work. Let's move on to the next topic. Where we were right here. Bitwise operator and these and modulus, and like to give the power, kind of exponential. Not much of a use, but still it is an AND operator, it's a modulus, and it is different. This is AND, this is OR, and this is XOR. The result is 1 only if the bits are different. This is not used. Bitwise operators work on the binary representation of numbers instead of their decimal values. They are commonly used in low-level programming, embedded system, networking, and optimization. As beginners, you only need to understand that what they do, and we will rarely use them in Python. So let's just move on to the next topic. Let's calculate the area of rectangle. Length, float integer, float data type will be used. Input enter length, and breadth is float input enter breadth. Area is length into breadth. Print area of rectangle, which is this. This will be printed, and area will also be printed, the length and breadth when we take the input. So let's just copy this. I'll make you understand what it means. How much time is this? 12 minutes. So when we'll take length, length is taken here as float integer, so it can be in the decimal value also. So we have to take the user input right here and the enter length. When I'll be running this code, it will ask me for enter length. Then if I will enter the length, and then it will ask me to enter breadth, then I will enter the breadth, and then it will perform the code from here. Where is area is equals to length multiplied by breadth, and the product of these two will happen, and the code will end as the area of rectangle is equals to, and the area that will be multiplied by both of them. So let's just run this, and I'll write 8, length will be 8, breadth will be 6, that gives us 48 here. Area of rectangle is 48. I hope you understand. Let's move on to the next question. Calculate the simple interest. Principal float input, enter principal amount, and rate is equals to float input enter rate of interest. Time is equals to float input enter time in years. Simple interest is equals to principal multiplied by rate multiplied by time and divided by 100. Print simple interest is equals to simple interest. Same question. Sorry. Oh, get back. Just copy this. Principal is equals to float input and the principal amount. Same float data type is used in user input will be taking, and it will show enter the principal amount. Second, it will show the rate. Then the float data type is used here as well. Then user input, then enter the rate of interest will be shown. Then next will be the time. The float input as well has taken here. and it will ask for the time in years. Then it will come in simple interest, principal multiplied by rate multiplied by time, which is divided by 100. The product of these three values will be divided by 100, and at last it will be printed as simple interest, which is equals to, and the value that will be calculated in the simple interest will be printed after the simple interest is equals to the value. So let's just run this one. Let's do it 5, 6, 8, and yeah. The simple interest is 2.4. Let's move on to the next question. So convert Celsius into Fahrenheit. So there are conditions for the temperature to like change Celsius into Fahrenheit, because I guess one degree Celsius is equals to some particular number of Fahrenheit. That's the condition that is given here. Like Celsius is equals to float value, and the user input has taken, then enter the temperature in Celsius, then Fahrenheit. Wait a second. Continue with the questions. So we are in this question. Let's just do this. So Celsius equals to float integer. Float data type is used here, then input, then enter the temperature in Celsius, and the formula to find the or to convert Celsius into Fahrenheit is Celsius divided by 9 divided by 5. Sorry, 9 by 5. Celsius multiplied by 9 by 5 plus 32. So, and then it is print temperature in Fahrenheit, which is equals to Fahrenheit, that is the variable. So let's just run this. It's good. 74 165.2. 78. Working. Let's just move on to the next question. The formula will be specified in the question for you to change or to convert Celsius temperature into the Fahrenheit temperature, so don't worry about that. Let's move on to the next question. Find square and cube of a number. Number is equals to integer, input, enter a number, then square is equals to number, like number raised to power, that is exponential operator, and cube is raised to power 3 and square is raised to power 2. Print square is equals to that is simple one. Run it. Oh, I forgot to. What? Oh, it's working now. This is yeah. Enter the number, press enter 5, and then the square of 5 will be 25 and cube of 25 will be 125. Yeah, it's working. Next question. Find the remainder after division. Just let's move on to the next question. So we did this question earlier and it was easy. Let's just move on to the next question. Where it is. There it is. Find the remainder and division. So let's copy this. We have taken the integer input from the user and the first number will be printed when I will run the code. Same goes for the B integer input from the user and enter second number. Then remainder condition is written here that is the remain and then the remainder operator and then this B percentage operator and B print remainder and the remainder function same topic. 12 second, let's just take as 6, remainder is 0 because it divides 12 completely. Let's move on to the next question. Check whether a number is even or odd. Number is equals to int integer function, then user input, then enter a number. If number is divisible by 2 and the the remainder is equals to 0, print even number, else print odd number. Number integer input from the user, enter a number will be printed. If number is divisible by 2 and the remainder is equals to 0 and the condition will, if the condition is true, it will print even number or else it will print odd number. So let's just give it, let's just take it as 45. That's an odd number. And if we rerun it and enter the number as 16, and it gives us an even number. Let's move on to the next. Convert string input to integer. Number is equals to input, enter a number. Number is equals to integer number. Print integer value which is equals to and then number variable, print type of number. Well, the type of number will be integer, class type will be integer and the value will be printed what will be given in here. Let's just do this. Oh no. Number, let's see, 15, class integer value 50. Let's go to the next question. Calculate the average of three numbers, 2, 4, and 7. Same concept, nothing is changed in it. Number 1, float integer data type, user input, enter the first number. You float, user input, enter the second number. Float, input, enter the third number. Average, number 1, number 2, number 3, divided by 3 for the average, and print average is equals to average. And if we run this, number 1 is 1, number 2 is 2, number 3 is 3, and the average is 2, because 6 divided by 3 is 2. Check whether a student has passed or not. Well, the minimum criteria for passing a student in the university is 40 marks out of 100, including or not including its attendance marks or not. So marks is equals to float, input, enter marks. If marks are less than equals to 40, print student passed as student failed. Run. That's 39.99. Student failed. Even from 0.01 marks, student got failed. Bill is equals to float, input, and bill amount. GST float, input, enter GST percentage. GST amount will multiplied by GST divided by 100. Total bill. Wait a second, I'll just put it on dynamic performance. GST amount is equals to bill multiplied by GST divided by 100. Total bill is equals to bill plus GST amount. Print GST amount is equals to GST amount, and print total bill is equals to total bill. The bill amount, let's just say it is 12,000. Percentage 18%. GST amount is 2,160, and total bill is 1,460. Sorry, 14,160. GST has been pretty much. Bill has taken as float input, and enter bill amount is entered here, and then GST has taken here. Float input and GST percentage, GST amount bill multiplied by GST divided by 100. Total bill is equals to Total bill is equals to bill plus GST amount. Print GST amount is equals to then GST amount is taken from the GST variable, and print total bill, and total bill amount is taken from the total bill variable. And when we run that, we get, if I put the value as 12,000 and enter the GST percentage as 18%, the GST amount that will be applied to the total bill will be 2,160 rupees, and the total will become as 12,000 plus 2,160 rupees, that becomes 14,160 rupees. So that sums up to all your questions, and you have to move for the next question. You have to try yourself after watching this lecture. Try to calculate the area of the triangle, that is, I forgot, 1 by 2 into base into height, and convert kilometers into meter, that is 1000 meter, and convert minutes into hours and minutes. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. Find the largest of two numbers, the LCM, and find the percentage of the marks obtained. Let's just do this one. So number 1 is float into integer number 1. If number 1 is greater than number 2, print the largest number is number 1. And if number 2 is greater than number 1, print the largest number. Okay. We have to take the two inputs of number 1 and number 2, and if number 1 is greater than number 2, print the largest number is number 1. Otherwise, we have to take the else condition as print the largest number is number 2. That's it. And for the area and these questions, let's just give you a bit of hint of these questions. Like, area is 1 by 2 into base into height. Base height and 0.5, that is 1 by 2. Alright, that's the area. Kilometer float integer, meters, kilometers multiply by 1000. Alright, minutes, total number of minutes, hours, that minutes are divided by 60, and remaining minutes are minutes divided by 60. That is flow division, and this is the remainder operator. That's good. That will be the next topic for that. Next time has it be? It's been 33 minutes only. Let's just revise this again. I'll dictate the rest of the questions in next one. Wait, let me see something first. This video is already 34 minutes, alright. The previous ones I've recorded. First one is how much? 47. Second is 30. This one is currently going on. So let's do it. 30, 47, that sums up as 77. That is 1 hour and 70 minutes. And if I add 30, Still not 2 hours. It's not even two videos. Fucking hell. Let's just do these conditional statements. If condition statement, rule and explanation, flow of response and text, if condition and the statement. When you write the if condition, you have to end it with semicolons, and then you have to give the statement in the print one, and you have to discuss about. You can give you if statement we generally use for the truth condition, else we use for the false condition, and elif we use if the condition can be true and also can be false. Indentation is very important because if you do not write that in indentation, it will be give you a error. And colon is important. Without the colon, it is just bullshit. Age is equals to integer. Input, enter your age. If age is greater than or equals to 18, print you are eligible to vote. If else statement 15 minutes. Age is equals to integer, then user input, then enter your age. If age is greater than or equals to 18, print eligible. Like if you can see here that when you will end the semicolon and enter the enter button, then it will already, we can say, it will automatically generate an indentation block right here for you. And like I'll just type it in here. If age is greater than or equals to 18, and I'll write it here, then if I enter, you can see the indentation block right here is already generated. Age equals to int input, enter the age. Alright, and when I enter this, you can see the indentation block is already generated. Print eligible for getting a license. Then you can see after the print statement, if you enter from here, it will also generate an indentation block. But if you don't want, like, you generally shouldn't want another indentation block, you have to write a false condition. That should be the case. For that, you have to do the same. First the else statements, which is generally a false statement. Then when you enter the after the semicolon, it will generate an indentation block right here. Then you have to do the print statement, not eligible. I'll just tab this. So when you work on this, enter age 15, not eligible for getting a license. Yeah, it's not like 4 hours. Then I have the key just so you can see. I hope you understand this one. Let's move on to the next. So if a statement is, I hope it is clear to you. Let's move on to the if, elif, and else. Else, if and else are same. Elif is just like it can be true, it can be false. And when you have the multiple condition in any question, you generally have to use elif. So when the inputs are like many, more than one, more than two, more than three, and they are asked in the test cases that it can be true, it can't be true, it might be true, then you can use the elif statement, because in if you can only enter one condition, but in elif you can enter more than one condition by using the elif statement more than once. Like in this coding question, you can see marks, integer input, enter the marks. If marks are greater than 90, print A grade. If then we have taken the elif one. Marks greater than is equals to 75, then semicolon you can see right here. When you enter, it will already generate an indentation block automatically, and then it's written print grade B. Then elif marks greater than is equals to 50, print grade C. Else print fail. I hope you understand. So let's just copy this right here. Run it. Enter the marks. Let's just say passing marks of 40. Let's do it 57. The guy is getting the C grade. Alright, that concludes our three conditional statements. We'll do the next question in the next lecture. Until then, revise all the questions, and here are some questions that you should do. If you can't, it's okay, I'll discuss in the next video all the question. We'll see. Goodbye, take care, stay healthy.